Good evening. It is Monday, February 26th. It is about 5:45 in the afternoon. I am Jeffrey Wooden. This is the Law and Ordinance Committee. I'm joined tonight by Mrs. Marshall, Mr. Twist. We're here tonight to provide a recommendation to Council regarding Chapter 735 of the Codified Ordinance, Bikeways. Mr. Titterington.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to turn it over to Robert Watson, who's in the Engineering Department.
Afternoon, members. As Mr. Titterington said, I'm Robert Watson with the Engineering Department. This ordinance revision and amendment is for the current Chapter 375 bikeways. It would be changed over to Chapter 375 bike lanes and shared use paths. This is in conjunction with my capstone project with my degree, and in reviewing our ordinance, it was found that this section was out of date. It was last approved back in 1974 when the first mile of the Great Miami Rec Trail was constructed, and then we amended the ordinance in 2018 for the ORC changes to allow e-bikes, class 1, 2, and 3 e-bicycles, and this section wasn't updated at that time. And in reviewing that, we made some changes to, one, update the language to coincide with the ORC regulations and definitions of the multiple vehicles that are now able to be used on rec paths and shared use paths and bike lanes as well. So we changed those and made those amendments into this section. We also allowed the Service Director Office to keep a list and approve any additional bike lanes and shared use paths to speed up the process for any of our road reconstruction or improvements. That way not every single one has to come before council, along with posting and signage requirements, and also an enforcement portion to this amendment as well.
All righty. Mrs. Marshall, Mr. Twist, any questions?
Basically, we're just amending to include the new terms for electric bikes, the classes, and any other micro scooters or whatever. That's what we're updating within the code, correct?
Yes, changing some of the terminology to coincide with the new terminology, new technology that's out there, and what's in the ORC.
Okay.
Would pieces of handicap equipment fall under all these?
The ORC calls out electric scooters and mobility devices such as that, and those are through ADA, through the ODOT, and through the ORC as well. Yes, sir.
That was my question.
Do any other members of council have any questions? Mr. Phillips.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. On the third point, amending section 375.02, where it talks about authorizing the Director of Public Service and Safety to keep the records, is something that's new? Yes, sir.
That is new. And I have drafted up, ready to go, taking inventory of the facilities we currently have in the city.
That is not, I'm not interpreting that as to a blanket authorization to do work or to be the final authority, in that things would not come before council or any other item like that.
It's not a blanket. However, if we, South Stanfield Phase 1, now we're heading into Phase 2, we created a shared use path there. You would be able to add that to that list without it having to come to council for an approval and adding that into that design.
Okay.
It would just be that is how that would speed that up. However, subdivisions or any developments that would come through for the final plat, all that would stay. All that's still in there.
Mr. Phillips.
Yes.
So when you authorize bidding on new construction projects such as Phase 1 of South Stanfield, we do highlight that we had a shared use path included in that construction project. You approved that.
Right.
But at the time, we did not and do not, I guess until you pass this, hopefully, have any clear definition of the distinction between a shared use path and a recreation trail and anything else on the right of way, off the right of way, or on the road, off the road, etc. What this does is gives us flexibility to do that administratively, primarily so that we are updating our complete streets map, and so we're quicker to have the most updated information for when, for example, we go for MVRPC type projects. We have the most up-to-date map, and we also can then regulate between shared use path, which allows multimodal and rec trail versus just straight sidewalk.
And, Mr. Watson, but we never kept the sort of list that this is describing?
Not officially, no. We have it with general knowledge with road construction projects and things like that, Riverside as well, you know, that new connector, but it wasn't formally put on a GIS layer or a full list that's
Yeah, I'm familiar with the many lists of the various statuses of our roads and things that you keep, but I just didn't know that this was not one of them, and now it's a new category. Okay,
yes.
Again, thank you. Thanks.
Do any other members have any questions? Mr. Schilling, please come forward.
Jeff Schilling, member of City Council. I was reading in the memorandum, it talks about continued improvement and implementation of the city's complete street policy. Have we done anything with that, improved that, or since its adoption in 2017? I mean, has the City Council amended the complete street policy since 2017?
The complete streets policy, the map, that is all under the auspices. It's being updated and reviewed and potentially updated, I should say, as a part of the comprehensive plan update that we're undergoing right now.
Right, I knew that.
And so that's an ongoing process that hasn't been completed yet. However, again, to Mr. Phillips' previous question, this would allow us to be able to do that administratively as new infrastructure is added, completed, such as South Stanfield Phase 1 and some of the other projects that are ongoing.
Okay.
Phase 1 has been completed. Phase 2 is what's now being drawn up.
Starts this year.
Should, yes.
Right. Okay, and then the second question I had, when we talk about e-bikes, you know, I use the recreational trails a lot, and the e-bikes, the new ones, have top speeds of like 30 miles an hour, and you know, it's sort of disconcerting to have somebody come up behind you, as quiet as those things are, at 30 miles an hour. Is the city making any plans at all to try to regulate the traffic on those recreational trails? I know one time we had bicycle patrols, and I honestly have not seen one of those in a while. Not saying that they haven't been on bikes, our officers, but I haven't seen them. Mm-hmm. And so, is there any plans as we talk about this in changing regulations and everything to possibly start regulating, watching the traffic on these bike trails? And I've not only seen the electric bikes, but I've also seen motorcycles on those recreational trails along the Miami, along the golf course.
So we don't have a patrolling bike unit for our rec trails in town. I know that
not anymore.
That's been a long time, but I know that once you get outside, when you get into the more forested areas of the rec trail, the county, every once in a while you'll see a deputy on either a Segway or a bike or something that will be riding around. It's very infrequent.
Right.
A lot of it is just rules of the road, social media reminders, peer pressure, if you will. The more seasoned riders that know better might call out somebody as they're flying by. I'm not sure that I've seen anybody going 30 miles an hour, at least on a legal bike. I know every once in a while we will see one of the homemade motorcycles show up, and they're not really supposed to be there. And in that case, a simple call to 911 because those can be kind of dangerous,
Mm-hmm.
although you can hear those a mile away, they're not
Right,
as quiet.
yeah, the electric bikes you can't hear, but anyway, between the two, I mean, are we gonna, have we thought about, putting up, speed signs and that type of thing as far as like limiting the speed to 15 miles an hour or something?
No, I mean, each one of those classes has a regulated speed to them. I'm not aware of anything that had that has any kind of speed limit signs on the paths themselves.
Okay.
I don't think I've seen that. So.
Okay, just, I have seen those in other places, but that's fine. Just trying to make it as safe as possible. You understand that, I think. So, thank you so much.
I'm just disappointed you can't go 30 miles an hour on your bike, Jeff.
Oh, he's not. He's just seen them.
No, your manpower.
No, I
No,
I said the electric bikes go 30 miles, and I didn't top speed about.
No, he's saying being startled as they whip by.
Oh, whip by.
Yeah.
Okay, I misinterpreted.
Okay.
Are there any,
Ding their bell.
are there any other questions, from council members or anyone from the audience? Please come forward.
Blair Jackson with Orson Corporation. Here in this, and pardon me, I'm relatively new to all of this here, but here's something that might be helpful to you. This is Ohio Revised Code. The number is section 45011, motor vehicle definitions. If you way down towards the end of the document, section FFF, it has low-speed micromobility device, means a device weighing less than 100 pounds that has handlebars, is propelled by electric motor or human power, and has an obtainable speed on paved level surface not more than 20 miles per hour when propelled by the electric motor. How that fits in, whether or not you utilize some of those definitions or not, you may consider that, So
We are using those definitions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Does anyone else in the audience have any other questions? Mr. Twist, what's your preference?
Move forward.
Mr. Marshall? It is unanimous that we will move forward with that. Next on the agenda tonight is providing a recommendation to council to extend the moratorium of the downtown riverfront overlay district. Mr. Titterington.
So we are asking for another 90-day, well, not another, an extension of 90 days on the moratorium regarding specific uses on the DRO. Staff has put together a recommendation to the Planning Commission. Planning Commission will review that starting on Wednesday evening, and then afternoon, I should say, and then it will go through the rezoning process through council, which of course takes 2 to 3 months. Since the moratorium is set to expire on May 3rd, we want to give us some time and not let the moratorium expire in the meantime. So we are asking for an extension. We do not need emergency legislation.
Okay. Mr. Twist, any other questions? Mr. Marshall?
If I may.
Mr. Phillips?
Mr. Titterington, is 90 days going to be enough?
We believe so, because it doesn't expire until May 3rd right now. That'll give us through until August.
Okay, all right, thank you. That's all I have.
Any other council members have any questions? Anyone in the audience? Mr. Twist, what is your preference?
Move forward.
Mr. Marshall?
Move forward.
It is unanimous. Is there anything else to come before the committee this evening?
No, sir.
We are adjourned.